نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. So we discussed a little bit about the word hamd. And after establishing that all of the good things that come in this world, they have only one source, one true source, and that is Allah Azza wa Jal. After this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions some of His names and attributes. The first is Allah, Alhamdulillah. Then He mentions Rabb, and then Ar-Rahman, and then Ar-Rahim, and then Maliki Yawmiddin. These are 5 names and attributes that are mentioned right in the opening of Al-Fatiha. Every one of them is extremely important and relevant exactly where it is. Because in Al-Fatiha, Allah Azza wa Jalla is introducing Himself. So the first way of introducing Himself is by telling what His name is, Allah, Alhamdulillah. So He is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, always was, always will be in the heavens, in the earth. وَهُوَ اللَّهُ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَفِي الْأَرْضِ. He is Al-Ilah. We've talked about this in a little bit of detail when discussing Bismillah. So He is the Ilah. He is the Ma'bud. He is the one that everyone needs to turn to in worship in their time of need. He is the one that should be the center of the attention of the human being. And He is the one with whom the mind of the human being should be occupied. And the heart of the human being should be occupied. This is the most important thing. Because if one does not see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the Ilah, and sees Him as the one doing many other things, it's not Iman. It's not considered Iman. So the quality of uluhiyah, of being the divine deity and not having any partners in that, that is the most important thing and the first thing to recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as. So if somebody does not know all the attributes of Allah, does not know them, never had a chance to learn them, but they know that Allah is the one that they need to worship and they need to pray to, this person is a believer. But if a person knows that there is a God who is caring and so on and so forth, but does not see Him as the one and only who is eligible and has the right to be worshipped, then he has not recognized Allah and cannot be a believer. So this was the first attributes. After this was Rabbil Alameen. We'll talk about Rabb here for just a minute. Rabb is derived from the Arabic verb Rabba Yarubbu, which means to take something forward. It actually means to take something forward. And as Imam Qadi al-Baydawi rahimahullah has mentioned it, that Rabb is the one who takes something from its first phase all the way to its final phase and looks after it in between. So everything has a beginning and it has an end. So the one who takes something from its beginning all the way to its end and then takes care of all of its necessities between this point and that point, that is Rabb. So this is the next introduction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to Himself, that I am the one who originates you, I start your life, I end your life, and between this and this, I am the one looking after you for every instant, every second. Whatever your needs may be at that time, I am the one that's providing them. And it is from this Rabba Yurubbu that the word Tarbiyah is derived. Rabba Yurabbi Tarbiyatan, Rabbaba Yurabbibu. All of these words are derived from Rabba Yurubbu. But the core of it is this what I've explained. Now, allegorically speaking, the term is used for many things. The word Rabb, it also has another aspect, another meaning in it, which is that of the leader or of the head, or of the master. So 2 meanings here in Rabb. One is the meaning of growing and looking after and nurturing. The other is the meaning of being a master. So this is why the word Rabb, in the tafsir of the word Rabb, they say that it has one sifat of sifatul af'al and one sifat of that. One attribute describes what Allah does. He raises, He nurtures, He provides, He's the sustainer. This is what He does. And the other aspect describes His status or what He is. He is the master. That's why both meanings come into play in the word Rabb. And in the Quran, it's used for both. Now, the word Rabb, when it's used by itself, Ar-Rabb, it can only refer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But because it has the meaning of master in it, when it is attributed to something or someone else, then it can be used for human beings as well. For example, Rabbud Dar. Rabbud Dar would be the owner of the house, the one who is the leader in that house. Rabbud Dar. Rabbul Mal, a person who has wealth, a person who possesses wealth. So this word, when it's attributed to something else, then it could be used for another entity. But when the word Ar-Rabb is used by itself, it can only mean and imply Allah Azza wa Jal. And the word has so many other subtle implications, which is why some ulama have said that this Ar-Rabb is the Ismul A'zam. Some have said this is the Ismul A'zam. Because when a person needs Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he knows that no one is going to fulfill my need except for Him, and he turns to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with that earnestness and with that urge inside, that yearning inside. So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds, because He is the Rabb, He is the one who is fulfilling all the needs. So this is a quick summary of what the word Rabb is, and this is the second attribute or name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that's mentioned in this sequence of verses. And then inshallah we'll talk about Al-Alamin. Wa sallallahu wa sallama wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een.
فتهدي الضياء لها